This is the Book Deal Podcast,
where you will discover the inspiring stories of the authors behind your favourite books.
No matter what stage of writing you are at, we've got you covered. I'm Tina Strong.
And I'm Madeleine Cleary, and join us as we pull back the curtain of published authors.
One deal at a time.
The Book Deal Podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land and waters which it's recorded on, and pays respect to their elders past, present and emerging. Happy Sunday, Tina.
Happy Sunday, Madeleine.
You're like, wait, what's your name? You're deep in edits.
No, I was going to start off with good day to you, Lady Madeleine, because your last message to me was very 19th century. And I was really hoping that you were going to bring the 19th century talk with you.
How do you do, Tina? I hope that you are faring well today.
Indeed.
It's glorious day.
But why do you have 19th century vocab at the moment, Madeleine?
Oh, I'm just so deep. I can't. What was the message I sent you again? I should read it out. You were trying to schedule our session today, and I said, I have rolled out of bed this morning and have just been hitting the writing without care for my appearance.
So very proper. So very proper. And I love that it's that your writing is seeping into your everyday words.
Does middle grade writing seep into your everyday words when you're deep in the writing?
Not really, because yes, mine's quite. My words have seeped into it, I think, quite a lot. But I do have a funny story in that there is a character in book 2 and book 3 of the Wilder Zoo series that I'm writing, and there's a Scottish character.
Oh.
And I have to say, at the time when I was writing book 2, I was binge watching Outlander. I don't know if you've seen Outlander, but it's Scottish. It's in Scotland, and there's these strong accents, and to the point. So I was binge watching it to the point, like, where in my head my thoughts were even a little bit in Scottish. Like, that's all that I could hear. And so when I started writing, I was like, created this new character, and he just had to be Scottish because
of Outlander. So there is a character in your books that is Scottish because of Outlander.
Yes.
Oh, that is the best.
Yeah, I just wanted to write that.
So that's when your everyday life seeps into your writing, which I think is common, isn't it?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Even in middle grade, I love that. Yeah, I'm deep in 19th century Melbourne at the moment, which is a fun place to be, really. It's a nice escapism. I think that's why I enjoy historical fiction, because it is a bit of an escape. Not sure if times were simpler back then, but certainly very interesting.
For some, maybe.
Perhaps for some.
Others, not so much.
Oh, that's right. So it's been good. Progress tracker. Oh gosh, should I say it? Then I'll have to be kept to count.
Yeah, do it. But I was going to say, this might be some exciting news for fans of Madeleine Cleary and the Butterfly Women. Are you we hearing it here first, Madeleine? Is this a new book that you're writing?
Perhaps this is the first. Well, I have spoken about it in a couple of other recorded things, but this might be the first one that goes to air about it. Yes, so I am writing a new book. It's set 15 years after the Butterfly Women. It is set in Melbourne again. It definitely expands out of Little Lon. So for those who've read the Butterfly Women, there's lots of very familiar locations in Melbourne that I'm taking my characters on to. So it's expanding that love letter to the city that people have described it as, and it's a lot of fun. So I am up to, as of today, 25,000 words are down.
Wow. That's a good place to be, isn't it?
It is. It's a really good place to be. 30,000, I think, is the point where generally for me, I'll either stop or keep going. So I'm almost at that point. But this story is feeling really good, and just like I'm getting the same feelings. It's feeling special and important to me, and I've got a lot of momentum behind it. So I'm hoping that continues.
And you're excited to sit down and keep going?
So excited.
I love that feeling. Love
My
it.
brain, I'm just completely absorbed right now.
So good.
I've also, it's coincided with a bit of a quieter period for me in terms of events. So for the last couple of weeks, I've just been, and it's also really cold in Melbourne. So I literally have just been huddling down and writing, and it's been
Mm,
really fun. So
that's nice.
what about you? You're deep in edits?
I'm deep in edits, yes. Speaking of writing, I'm deep in edits for book 3, which doesn't come out until next year. But
You've got a
so
bit of
it's
a break then after you've got book two coming out in July, and then
next week, Madeline. I don't, is it next week?
next week, is it?
Oh no, it's the week after next. Sorry,
Okay. Oh
the
my
week
God.
after next, and I don't feel very prepared for it.
Oh
It
my
is very.
gosh.
I can
I'm
say
looking
it's
at the
very
calendar.
different.
July
Mm,
is literally,
I
yeah,
know.
in 10
Yeah,
days.
I
So
know.
what
It's
date does it
scary.
come out on the 1st of July?
July 2nd.
July 2nd. We'll mark that date in your calendars, everybody.
Yes,
July
Neath in the
2nd.
Storm will hit the shelves July 2nd. And yes, everything is so busy. Like I've got so many workshops coming up, and it's, yeah, there's just a lot to do. And edits. Edits always just seem to come in at the
Yeah.
really busy times, doesn't it?
Is it
And
a
then,
structural edit or is it a copy edit?
well, it's the typeset edit. So,
Oh,
what it
already.
looks when they send you what it looks like printed on a page. So it hasn't got the illustrations in there yet. So they're still going to have to do some fiddling around and moving things around to fit the illustrations in, which is good because I've made quite a few additional sort of edits and changes because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Mm,
I think it's probably been like 6 months. So that's a good
that's good.
break.
Really
Yeah,
good.
to then look at it and go with a fresh pair of eyes. The biggest thing that I found actually, and I had this issue when I was writing it, is a bit of a timeline
Mm,
situation. I don't know if you've like, yeah, I think because the timelines are quite tight in this book, and it's, one of the main issues is that something's due at a particular date. So I
mm,
sort of have
mm.
to almost work back from that. And there's a few things that happen in that time that has to happen on particular days. And I think at one point, it kind of happens over about the space of a week. And at one point, I had to change the timeline, change the days. And so I can see a little bit of that hung over. And, in this typeset copy that I've got now, which I'm glad to have caught.
Oh, that's good. That's also
Yeah.
frightening, isn't it? When you
Also frightening. But
how do you map out your timeline?
I'm so glad you asked. Normally, if you have time, and this is why, once you've done it, and it is really important, okay, to map your timeline. I didn't know this, so I read my first manuscript that I wrote. I just completely wrote the whole thing, and it was fine. And timeline wise, there was no other major issues except, so I just naturally just had it
Mhm.
fine, like it was just working fine. But I don't think the particular days mattered. It probably didn't matter if it
Mm.
was in a couple of days here or there. But when I started mapping it out and using Story Grid, the Story
Oh
Grid
gosh, here we
timeline,
go. Okay, story grid.
because everyone
Right.
knows how I love this. At the end, so it had, like, even when I first saw Story Grid, I was like, this is out of control. This is so full on. I'm like, I'm not going to map the time of each scene and how long it starts and when it finished and ended. But I can tell you now, when you do that, you do realize that some kind of like silly mistakes get through. Like at one point, I realized that they had been driving in a car nonstop for 26 hours, which can't ever happen. You do have to stop. No one's got 26 hours worth of fuel in the tank. And, just one of those things that you just sort of don't really think about. And yeah. So so it was really handy to pick that up. And admittedly, I didn't, I had to actually I had to sort of map out the time for each chapter again now, not like start and finish, but at least the days, and if it was the morning or the afternoon, because it really does make a difference when you're looking at such a tight time frame. So
Yeah, and also like external things like where the sun's positioned in the sky and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Or
Oh,
morning,
yep.
afternoon, or what season it is. And maybe it's not as necessary in Queensland. Seasons don't probably mean as much.
There's storm season and there's
Storm
hot
season,
season
that's right.
and there's mild season.
Well, there you go.
Uh,
Yeah, that's true. So I guess that's interesting. Mm. So you
yeah,
would
so it
recommend
is
it?
important. I think if you have time after you've written a manuscript, even just your zero draft, to position yourself, because sometimes you can get yourself like in a really tight or you can create a really big issue, I think, with your timelines.
You can. And so when I submitted the Butterfly Women and it was accepted, Ruby then asked me for my timeline.
Oh,
Mm. They
really?
asked me to send through the timeline for her next structural
Oh,
edit read. And I was
so,
like, eek,
oh,
I'm a chaos writer. I don't have any
yeah.
timeline. And she says it's, and I sort of went, oh, I'll have to put one together for you. And she said
Mm,
it's really helpful, particularly in
mm,
historical fiction, to have timelines.
hmm
I think anything, and crime and all sorts. And so yeah, had to retrospectively go back and create a timeline.
hmm
The other useful thing that Ruby did was put together um, kind of a map of the chapters for me and the parts to see, a summary of each chapter, where the clues come in and the points. So she did up this amazing
Wow.
sheet, which, because she just obviously knew that I didn't have anything.
She's like, oh, I'm going to have to do this.
Yes. So I guess for emerging writers, I think it's now I do timelines ahead. Like I've actually done timeline now, or every time I come across something where I go, oh, this happened on this date, or this person was born in this year, so that would make them this age,
Mhm.
because that's a thing. They would have had this person at this age, and da, 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 da. I now just I have a table randomly in some random Word document that I just add
Mhm.
to. And so
Mhm.
that way, Ruby, I can just give it to Ruby in future.
She's going to be so happy with that,
I know, I
I
know.
think.
I feel really good doing that.
Yeah, you're such a star pupil. No, that is a really good, that is a top tip to go through and check your timelines.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe after you've finished, perhaps, or at the same time if you like. But yeah, it is really helpful, especially if you do have an actual ticking clock kind of thing as your
Yes.
storyline.
Yes.
You can't, yeah, you need to know when to apply the kind of the pressure and everything, and you can't do that too far out, and you can't build it up and then drop it back down. You've got to keep that pressure on and the momentum going. So
Exactly.
really important. So
Timelines. And your publisher might ask, if for emerging writers who are submitting,
yes,
they may ask you for your timeline. So be prepared. Be
yeah,
a
be a
star
star
pupil.
pupil.
Mm.
We both said the same thing. Oh, hilarious. But yep, so I'm deep in edit, so that's kind of
Yes.
the
Can you
only
tell us about your events though? Like what have you got upcoming for book two?
I think I did last time actually.
Oh, did
I
you?
think
How about,
yeah,
do you want to just remind
I
everybody?
did, and I said I'm going to put it all up on Insta, and I you know what, I have been so busy that I haven't totally got round to it, but I've started, and so I have a couple of library events up here,
Mm-hmm.
Gold Coast libraries, in the school holidays. I have an event at Quick Brown Fox, which is a writing workshop,
Mm-hmm.
which is all about writing wild characters and
Mm-hmm.
settings. Um, and I also have an event at Where the Wild Things Are in West
Yes.
End in Brisbane,
Mhm.
and that is a Wilder Zoo Crew workshop. So kids come along and test your skills and see if you can make it as a Wilder Zoo Crew member. We've got some little, wildlife trivia, and we're gonna do a little mock vet exam on a rescued. I'm doing bunny ears. It's a stuffed animal, um, rescued animal, and yeah, I've got a few more things that I'm just getting the final details on for August. So
Okay, so
yeah,
where can people find all these events and booking links?
yeah, on my Instagram at the moment. So yes,
Great.
just at just search Tina Strawn, and you shall find me on
In your link in
Instagram.
your bio, or is that where
Oh yes, so the link is on in the bio there. That's probably the
in
best place,
Instagram? Yeah.
and very soon I should have them on the website as well.
Brilliant. Keep an eye out for that. That's exciting. And all in Queensland. And then you'll be down in
Yeah.
Melbourne as
And
well.
yeah, end of August, book
Mhm.
launch for Nika and the Storm, book two at Melbourne Zoo. So
Okay.
tickets will be, so it's going to be super fun, but tickets will be quite limited
Mm.
for that. Unless you've got a pass to the zoo, which I know lots of people do who have kids, and then you could just come in
Wait, am
and,
I
and
invited?
visit. Yeah,
Oh, good.
absolutely. You're
So
on
I
the
get a ticket.
VIP
I'm one of the
list.
VIPs.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, you got an automatic ticket.
fantastic.
No, but that's going to be super fun. But
Who's in your in combo partner in Melbourne?
Catherine Collette.
Oh, you should have asked me, Tina. Jealous. Bloody
Next
Catherine
one.
Collette, always getting
I
the good
know.
gigs.
I know. Well, when you write your middle grade, um,
I've been a middle grade reader before.
You have.
Hi, my name's Sarah Lane, and I'm here to tell you all about my debut picture book, Surprise Shark, illustrated by the super talented Patrick Corrigan and published by the beautiful team at Affirm Press. It's hard to make friends when you're a shark, but this shark has a foolproof plan for winning people over. If only they'd stop running away. A surprising story about finding friendship in the most unlikely places. Surprise Shark came about after my son had to rewrite the ending to Whitney and Brittany Chicken Divas during COVID home learning, and he put a shark in. And I thought, how wonderful that in his mind, a shark could just show up anywhere. Kids' brains are the best. And that got me thinking about the most awkward, unlikely scenarios in which a shark could arrive. And Surprise Shark was born. Surprise Shark has been described as delightfully energetic and a joy to read aloud, with fun rhyme and cheeky dialogue. Shark defies stereotypes and is full of humour and heart. Thank you to Tina and the Book Deal podcast for the opportunity to share Surprise Shark with you today. Surprise Shark is out now, and I can't wait to share it with you. Bye for now.
Yeah, so I've had lots of events. I haven't attended too many events myself, but you've had a busy weekend.
Yes,
at a festival.
Fun. Yeah, so yesterday was, well, it's over this whole weekend actually, the Williamstown Literary Festival in Victoria, Willie Lit. And yeah, it was super fun. I did an event yesterday afternoon. It actually was a sold out event as well, which is very, very cool.
It's very cool.
So it was a packed room. Yeah, it was in conversation with an author called Rochelle Sieminovich, and she wrote a book called Double Happiness. And the topic was sex, love, and taboo, which
sounds so exciting.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's a cool topic. Our books are entirely different, but Charlotte Guest, she's an incredible bookseller. She's the store manager at Bookbird in Geelong, and we had met at Strachan Writers Festival. She's brilliant, and she's a brilliant moderator.
I've heard this.
Yeah, she's incredible, and so she facilitated the conversation, and her questions just really. She found all these amazing synergies between the books. And I love that, you know, when your book is deeply read in that way, so it's a privilege, I think. So we had a fantastic event. And then afterwards, so as signing books, had a fan of the podcast come up, which is so lovely. Georgie Foster, who's an emerging writer herself. So we had a good chat about that, and yeah, had some just nice chats with readers, which was really, really lovely. So it's there's something very energetic and heartwarming about writers' festivals. I'm not sure, and it's just a little bit different. I think because it just attracts a whole different type of audience, and people can just float between events, and it's really cool. And as a writer attending, it's fun. You get to go into the green room, which is really cool.
That sounds very exciting.
I was in there, and I was too nervous, of course, to approach them. But the first person I saw was Claire Wright, who wrote The Forgotten Rebels of Eureka, and I'm a massive fan. And I just stared at her from the corner for a while, really awkwardly.
Go and talk to her, though.
No, I was too embarrassed. I was like, oh, what am I? And she's so smart and intelligent as well. I don't even know how I would engage with someone like Claire Wright. And then the next person that came into the green room was Kate Grenville again. And she was she's so cute looking. And I was like, I can't. I just don't know what I could say to someone as amazing and smart as Kate Grenville. So I just I hung out with my crew. So
yeah. What an experience, though.
It was.
Sure, there was people like, oh, that's Madeleine Cleary.
No.
Maybe next year. But that's an incredible experience, all of it, like the green room, and especially, having people come up and chat, fans of the podcast, fans of your book. So you can see why festivals are highly sought after for debut authors.
It's a
and
great
emerging authors are very interested.
It is a good opportunity, and Yeah, probably I should have gone up, but I was hanging out. I was having great chats with Ali Parker. So we got to hang out. She's another fan of the podcast. And of course, I saw Marion Taff was there. So she was in conversation with Gail Holmes. So it was nice to see some of our debut crew
I was going to
there.
say, I saw lots of debut crew photos coming up all over the socials. I was feeling very jealous.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. She could have you here, Tina. But no, it was good. I was having lots of engaged conversations with lots of different people, and yeah, it is fun. It's difficult to get festivals, and I think as a debut writer, you can't really expect to get any. Like if you get one or two, like that's pretty amazing. Because there's so many amazing writers out there, and festivals need to be able to draw a crowd. And as an unknown quantity, you are taking a risk on people like us, I suppose. So it's great that festivals are taking the
100%.
chances on debut writers. But yeah, often it is, the people who I've met, I suppose, in the 2 years that I've been part of this community and networking and build. It's not really networking, it's just like community building, isn't it? That's helped.
Networking sounds like you're trying to sell something, doesn't it? But it's not like that at all, is it? It's just, yeah, it is building community, I think, is a much better word for it.
That's right. That's right. And like, for example, I don't mind saying this. I met Emily Westmoreland, who's the director of Willie Let Festival, at an event that I attended with so Barbara Minchinton, who's the historian. She was in conversation at an event, that Book and Paper in Williamstown, where the festival had organised like over a year ago. We got chatting at that event. She asked about my book, so I talked to her about that. And then, that's how I think having that connection with the director, she then remembers you and your face, and then, the invitation came along. And I've since found out too, like she's sort of, recommended to another festival, a few of us debuts, and said, take a chance on these ones. So it's amazing how when you put yourself out there, go to these events, meet these people, and hey, I should have listened to my own advice and probably gone up to Claire Wright and Kate Grenville and introduced myself. But what it shows is that it is part of this, putting yourself out there is important. You get these kinds of opportunities.
Yeah, 100%. Which is true for lots of other things, not just festival invites. You don't have to go and seek out all the festival directors, but there's lots of different things, appearances, school visits, lots of things, because there's, a lot of authors and there's only so many spaces. And like you said, for debuts, you're an unknown quantity. Yes. So I can imagine as a festival director, I want to fill the room, and I also want the people who I invite to talk to feel like they can fill a room as well. And there would be so many authors that put their hand up to do it who have really strong backgrounds and can absolutely fill a room and sell out. And so that is the people that you're up against.
That's right.
But there's probably a few different maybe angles that you can take, in that a lot of festivals do like to do debut panels or do like, new books or new faces in the literary community, which is nice. Or if you have some kind of angle, so you could definitely go for, historical panels. Like you'd still be very relevant for that, and people would still definitely be very interested. So just about finding your niche, I guess,
that's right.
That you could play on that.
Have you ever pitched yourself to festivals?
I haven't.
Neither.
No. I will though. It's my plan. It is my plan on my list. And I know that you have to do it very early for those people who do want to pitch themselves. You have to get in really early. I think literally by the time the festival's over, they're thinking about the next one.
Yes.
And it's, I'd say, maybe at least 9 months out, right? They're trying to start putting out feelers for names people for the next festival. So don't leave it too late either if you do want to get to a festival soon. It's not always, you don't always have to pitch yourself though. Publishers do pitch for you.
That's what at least I think some publishers do that. I think there are perhaps some of the smaller presses that might not
Yes.
have that capacity to
Hmm.
do so, and so they rely on an external freelancer or perhaps the author to represent themselves. That can also be better sometimes because the author approaching like a festival director can be, more perhaps more tailored, and more likely to receive a response. Who
Yeah,
knows?
because
Who
you're making
knows?
that connection.
And we're
Yeah.
not suggesting that obviously people just go start hounding festival directors over Instagram and saying, why can I be on your festival? Think about your pitch
Yeah.
and,
There's usually a formal method for this, isn't there?
yeah.
I think you can find it on their website if there's a festival that you really want. And with pitches, I think it's the same for everything, right? For people who want to pitch podcasts, we get a lot of
Mhm.
them as well, don't we, Madeline? And
Mhm.
um, most certainly pitches where people can tell you what they're going to talk about or what they can talk about or what the difference is for them, certainly can make a difference when you're pitching anything, festivals, school visits, all those sorts of things. Give an example of what you're going to talk about.
Yes.
Example
Yes.
of times when you've done it before even, is handy, or all of that is extremely helpful.
I agree. I agree. And I guess we've kind of been surprised at the amount of pitches that we get from authors who want to come onto the podcast. And it's very flattering to receive those pitches.
Mm-hmm.
It's also quite difficult for us, isn't it, though, Tina? Because we want to have as many people as we can on the show, but we only conduct, limited number of interviews. And so we've got a bit of a backlog, I think, at the moment. And I agree. It's the ones that also, I think, and this is the same for when you're pitching to anybody, any like a library or a festival, um, show that you're engaged with that individual entity. So the best pitches that I've seen to the podcast said, "Oh, I really loved this episode where you talked about this. Like this, I took away this. I've noticed there's a gap. You haven't actually spoken about this. I can fill that gap for you."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Which
Because
I
everyone's
think
looking for something a little bit different, or they're looking for an angle that they can push and promote.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I think that's the same with libraries as well. Like you can look at, well, who are some of the authors that they have taken and done events with in the past or bookshops,
Mhm.
and then said, well, I'm similar, I can do this, I can talk about this. I think your community would really appreciate this. Like I think there's ways that you can kind of make it different rather than just a stock standard, this is my book, this is who I am,
Yeah.
please have me on.
Yes, because you have to think they're getting a lot of these pitches. So
Yes.
you really need to make yourself stand out.
Yes, and I
Um,
guess because this is just interesting as well, we do
mm,
get pitches from publicists as well,
mm,
from publishing houses. And sometimes the pitches that we get, there's 10 authors in one pitch. And so
yeah.
I guess that's useful for authors to know that
Well,
because I didn't know that
mm,
before we started the podcast, that publicists are very busy
yeah.
people and they might not be able to do an individual, everything's tailored, everything's beautiful, it's all lovely.
Yeah.
But often,
But
sometimes
you're
you are one
bundled.
of many.
Yeah. Yeah. You're bundled up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Um, Now with festivals though, back to festivals for a
Mm.
sec. Are we expecting to get paid for festivals, Madeline?
I think yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. All the festivals I've done so far, I've been paid for that time. And I think actually authors on a panel get an easier ride than the moderators do. There's a
Yeah.
lot of work that goes into a moderator
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
because you have to read the books at least the
Yes.
books that have been published, and
Yeah.
if not, the backlist of those authors as well. And
Mm-hmm.
then you, prepare so much. I know Charlotte had done so much preparation. So, but we do it for love as well. But yes, authors should absolutely be paid for festivals, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think a lot of festivals, the good festivals go to a lot of effort to make sure that all the
Hmm.
guests are fairly paid.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you know what? That means that they'll get big, reputable names coming to
Hmm.
their festivals again as well, because they know how much time it takes. It takes time. It's not just turning up for that, 45-minute, half an hour panel for you. You do have to think about what you might say. You've got to probably take the time off. You've got to travel there.
Yeah.
It is work. It's probably on your weekend. If it's a weekday, you may sometimes take time off of work to do it. Like it's and it's taking away from writing time.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, it is important. And of course, ASA, Australian Society of Authors, would have all those rates of pays, which would include festivals. I believe they have like different rates of pays. Yep, for panels and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah. I think we've just got to discuss this on the podcast before. Even if there's no indication of pay, it's still important for authors to ask the question. And even if you're happy to do it for free, it's also still important to say, well, I'm waiving my fee for this case.
For you, yeah, that's fair. And I think always send a link to the ASA rates of pay so people know where it's coming from.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I think.
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, speaking of festivals, can I plug the Currumbin Crime Writers Festival?
Yes, absolutely.
So the Currumbin Crime Writers Festival, it's the first one this year and it's being held.
That's a tongue tie.
I know, it was a little bit for me.
Currumbin Crime Writers.
Currumbin Crime Writers Festival. The 15th to 16th of August, so 2 days in August, and the beautiful Currumbin up here on the Gold Coast. They're an incredible venue. The guest of honour this year is Fiona McIntosh, and she is, I think maybe there might only be a couple of tickets left, if that, for her workshop. So she's holding a workshop, which is going to be incredible. Get to spend some time with her and work on your crime writing. Also Hayley Scrivener, January Gilchrist, and Ali Lowe. So some really big names. So if you're a crime writer, I'm sure everybody would know who they are and be very excited. But also Alex Adsett will be there, the literary agent Alex Adsett, giving people advice on their manuscripts. And Rebecca Saunders from Hachette will also be there giving some feedback. Workshops, panels, networking sessions as well. We were just talking about how important networking sessions are. It's going to be an incredible event in such a beautiful spot. So, maybe pitch them for next year, everybody, if you want to go and pitch them. But yeah, I go along, Currumbin Crime Writers Festival, check them out on their website. You can buy tickets on the website. And it's a good excuse to spend 2 beautiful days up here on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, look, August in Melbourne is not great. So I think that sounds wonderful.
Come up here. It's gorgeous.
That could be a tax write-off as well, right?
Absolutely could. So that's actually going to be my top tip and recommendation for this episode, Madeleine, is to go and check out the Currumbin Crime Writers Festival, book some tickets, and spend winter up here on the Gold Coast. What about you, Madeleine?
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to go back on an old top tip and reiterate it, which I remember Natasha Rye in our catch-up chat saying that she, during a festival, has solved some terrible complex problem in her plot, in her book. During a festival, just sitting in the audience, listening, talking about writing. And sometimes it's nice. So if you are feeling stuck in your manuscript, go up to Currumbin in August or there are so many incredible festivals in Australia and there's more and more every day. You can actually go to literary listings. So Jill runs that amazing website and her Instagram, and she has all the incredible writers festivals on there. So check out literary listings. That's my top tip.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, hopefully I get to see you at a festival soon, Madeleine.
Yes, I know. One day we'll be invited together doing the Book Deal podcast episode.
How fun would that be? Did you hear that, festival directors? We're available for gigs anytime.
Right. Well, we should pitch that. That's something we could do. Let's put that on our vision board, Tina.
Okay, let's do it. I love it.
All right. Talk soon.
See you. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Book Deal podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the pod so you can receive updates as soon as our new eps drop. And to keep up to date with what the pod is doing, you can also find us on Instagram.